Hello, thank you for joining us on YouTube. This is my Friday afternoon Zoom class, and I am painting aspens today. The first step, the technique that I'm going to use today is using masking tape to mask these tree trunks. This was the sample painting that I did, and this is the photograph that I'm working from. So what I'm going to do is try to sort of replicate these aspen shapes. This painting kind of breaks the rules. There's not really a focal point. This one comes out of the corner. So I'm just going to kind of have fun with it. I do notice now today that this one here is the thickest tree, even though it's not in the foreground. So what I might try to do is just move it, turn this one into the thickest tree on top. So I think I'll start there. So what I do is I rip off a piece of tape that, this is 0.72 inch masking tape. So I'm going to sort of bend it as I go. I'm going to make a little bit of a shape. I can sort of make it move around. I don't want it to go right out the center of the paper. I think I'm going to have it go out there. And then the other trick is to really, you have to push it down with something. You can use the bevel of your brush or fingernail. And this is the one reason that I do not wear fingernail polish anymore.
I only see your back.
Okay.
I'm not seeing what you're doing.
So I put a second piece of tape up this one, and now I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put it over this one. I'm going to make it go right out the corner just like that. But I'm going to put this one in front when I paint it. And this one is going to separate and bend and kind of come up. And I'm going to leave this just one piece of tape. I'm going to put this one in next. I started about here. I'm trying to make it not be a perfect straight line. And make it sort of bend. And this one I'm actually going to bend into the painting just here at the top. Oops, got a little thing there. And again, I have to press these down really well with my fingernail so that no paint goes in there. I'm going to do another one that is here. I'm breaking the rules by having these lean out of the painting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my board and put a piece of tape down, and I just put my X-Acto knife away over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into two pieces, but I'm not going to try to go straight down the middle. I'm going to start one side skinny and end up fatter over here so that it goes from skinny to fat. So that piece then is fat at one end and skinny at one end, and so is this one. Now when I put my picture, my painting here, and I have this piece of tape, and I put another tree up, it'll be getting skinnier. I'm kind of doing this one here. It's going to go behind this one. And there's leaves in front of it here. Which I'm going to show you how to handle that. We're going to use PVO, and then once we get the tape off, we're going to add a little more PVO. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually a good number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one has 7. I think this is good if this one bends in and out. I'm going to do that. It's going to start here, going to go here, going to bend out, and then go like that. Now I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is, and there's kind of an empty hole right here that's exactly the same distance all the way up. So that's not a good shape right there. So I'm going to do one more piece of tape, and I think just, I don't know, let's see. I'm going to make a really skinny one. This board this mahogany board, I think was Evelyn's paneling in her house, because it's an old Evelyn board. So Shar, it's so nice to have you, because Shar, it was Evelyn's best friend. So I just feel like I've reconnected with Evelyn now that Shar's with us. Okay, so this one, I'm just trying to break up this shape in here by putting on this shape. I'm gonna break that into 2. A little bit. I don't know. Making this, I wouldn't do that. Maybe I'll spread it down lower. There, I like that much better. Okay, that's enough trunks. Otherwise, we'll be painting. It'll take us forever to get these trunks painted, these punks painted. And now what I'm going to do, and I don't know if you guys did this, is I'm going to add a little bit of PVO. So here's my PVO. I'm going to stick it in this little cup, just 2 drops. And I'm going to look at my picture, and I see that there's big leaves down here at the bottom of these tree trunks, and a few big ones up here too. And then the rest is all behind it. So what I'm going to do is just make some blobs down here on the paper. I'm hitting the tape, but of course it's not going to work on the tape, so that'll be wasted PVO. I'm not going to use my brush because I'm just kind of and I'm going to put some up here, these big ones. So these are big leaves. The shape of these leaves is they're sort of round with a little point, but they'll be, I think just blobs works pretty well. And then the next thing to notice about aspens is that when the branches come off and they're little, they're black. They don't get white until they get a little bit bigger. So that's a black one, That's black. These coming across are black. This one's sort of white. There's one here. So if you want to put any other branches in, like there's this tree back here that's kind of nice. Or you can just put it, I don't know, you can do it with your PBO. But I think what I'm going to do is not put any white branches in. I'm going to make them all dark later. So I'm done with it for right now. And then I need to dry this. I just dried the PBO with the blow dryer so that this is nice and dry now. What I'm going to do right now is start painting all the background of the trees. And I'm going to use a 3/4 inch flat brush, clean water. I don't really need to wet the tape. I'm just going to wet the white paper. Just as a kind of a preview, when we get the tape up, we're going to put more PBO on for the rest of the leaves in front of the trees. So I'm drying off the tape and the edges. When I painted this one here, I started with the blue sky, and then I went around it with the yellows. But I'm wondering if I shouldn't leave holes and put the blue in last. I'm going to try it. What I'm going to start with is my yellow. It's a yellow medium. So wherever there's orange or yellow in this picture, I'm going to paint bright yellow. Now here, there's a little bit of blue sky showing. So I'll leave a hole, not painting yellow there. And I'm just using the corner of my brush and pushing so that I have little spots of white paper showing. There's some blue that shows here. I'm going to paint this mostly yellow up in this corner. A little yellow. If I have blue on one side of the tape, I need it on the other side of the tape so that my eye knows that that is, it doesn't confuse my eye. There's little bits of blue here, so I'm leaving little white holes all the way down. Down here, there's no blue that I can see. So this has been my trick when I paint orange. Is to start with yellow. I've done it. This is the third painting. I did it with pumpkins and nasturtiums, and now I'm doing it with fall leaves. And this in here, I'm going to paint orange. So now I go and I add permanent rose to my yellow. It makes kind of a red, and I want this right here is the brightest red in this picture. If the red starts trailing up the tape, I'll just blot it a little bit or just keep painting it. Okay, I want this. Oh, that's the tape. I'm painting it like it's the paper. These colors are so incredibly beautiful to me. You can't, it's almost hard to go wrong painting with these paints. That's the thing I discovered with the children when I painted for 10 years with the kids at El Granada Elementary, that I used all the best materials with them and their paintings were so good. I'm still trying to leave some spots for my blue. These bits of PBO are going to be bright yellow leaves. I want it to be soft and blurry. I just added more pink because I have that one like blob right there. That's lots of pink in it. It's kind of a red. So I'm going to add some more of that. So that feels like that tree goes maybe up to the sky or is behind it more. Now I'm going to rinse my brush out really well. In fact, I think I'll switch brushes and go to the special museum brush. Oh, I tried that color last time. It doesn't really work that well. I think the best color for the sky is a mixture of my two favorite blues, French ultramarine blue and Antwerp. If I mix those two together, this sky, this painting is from Bishop, or this photograph's from Bishop, Eastern Sierra. And that's the color of the sky there. So now I'm going to try to put this blue right into the white and not make much green. If I get my brush dirty with yellow paint, I'll go back in and remake my blue. French and Antwerp. And I'm gonna, so if I have blue on this side, I need a little blue here. Yeah, that's tape. So now that blue went kind of icky. That's green. Keep it blue. So if I use blue on white paper, I'll keep it blue. Okay. Oh, here's some paper that's not painted. So I'm looking now to see if all my paper's painted. And because it's hard to tell the paper from the paint. I think I've got it. I almost feel like I just need a squirt of water on my blue to sort of soften it. So this is not my favorite squirt bottle for this job, but I'm going to use it. Here's my Windex. That's going to loosen it all up there. I can kind of tilt it around. I'm just catching these blue streaks that are running down my tape. Okay, that's how I paint the background. So I just dried my painting with a blow dryer, and now I'm going to carefully remove the tape. I have to start gently here because if I don't want to lift the top of the paper off with the tape, so I just have to go slowly and carefully, especially at the edges. I can see it leak through a little bit, but we'll fix that. We'll make that look like reflected light. Be careful. Some papers don't handle the tape very well. I love working with Waterford 200, but a lot of times the top of the paper comes off when you lift the tape. There, got all my tape off. And I have one big one right up the center, so that's good. I like that. I like that. My eye goes there, so that's good. Now the next step is to go back to our PBO and to put, if we have any, to put more leaves in front of these down here and over the tops. My last painting, I painted around those, but I think it'll be a lot easier to use PBO. So I still have a couple drops in there that haven't dried out. And where I have some that is right up next to the tree, I'm gonna make that go so that it looks like it's see what I did? Those little spots that are half on my tree trunk, I'm making those turn into a whole leaf. And then I'll have more, but I want them to look like they're in front when we get done. Here's one that the tape pulled it off, so I'll redo that. All right, so these are gonna go, I have some leaves that go all the way over here. Some of them overlap and some of them are sort of just by themselves. But overlap is, you always need some overlap. Some things in front of the others. I'm going to have a few over here. Eleanor tells a story. She studied drawing in Italy, and her professor, her Italian professor, she said, I want to learn to draw things in things. So like drawing a room with people in it, like a church with people in it. And he said, oh, it's easy. You just have to overlap.
Very easy.
On this one right here, the leaves are smaller as it goes up. The leaves are the biggest down here at the bottom. And then up here, they're pretty big too. I'm going to put a few up here. Now I broke a rule. I have this one thing going behind, and you can't see it on the other side, but hopefully I'll get away with it. Now I'm looking at this to decide if I have enough leaves, that's going to sort of make my eye go up into here. I'm not going to put them on this one because I'm going to just darken the bottom of that and sort of hide it a little bit. But I do want to have a nice big leaf up here. So I think that's enough leaves. I'm going to mute it and blow dry it. This is nice and dry now. What I'm going to start doing now is putting in the shadows on all of these trees. It's going to take a little while because I have so many of them. The color that I'm going to make for the shadows of these trees is my two favorite colors lately. I'm going to use a nice clean brush, burnt sienna, and French ultramarine blue, makes a gray. I'm going to keep this, I'm going to just keep adding this till I feel like I've got the color that's on the side of those trees. I'm going to do a little more French, and I'm going to add a tiny bit of permanent rose to sort of purpley it up. Maybe not that much. There, now it's brownish purple. I like that. And now a little bit more French. That's about where I want it. Now, I want a nice dark line down the side of this tree, and then I want it to, well, I'm going to start with this one because it's almost dark all the way across. So but this one, it's in front. Okay. I have to be a little bit careful because I don't want to make a harsh line. So what I have to be able to do is paint it a little bit and then rinse my brush out and get some water and soften the edges before the paint dries. So if I try to go all the way down this whole tree trunk, I can do it if I'm fast, and then I get water and soften that edge. So I'm gonna make this a little wetter. So I just added a brush full to my puddle. I'm actually gonna just give this a try. I'm gonna start at the top. I'm gonna be very careful. I'm gonna go all the way down. Oh, it's nice and dark. I'm gonna go, I have to be really, no. I have to be really careful. I don't wanna go over this background. I wanna just paint only on the white paper. And I think if I go halfway, rinse my brush, and then I have just water in my brush right here, and paint with it. And then I can soften this line here too. So I don't want any harsh lines. I can see that there's just a little bit of white showing on this tree trunk up at the top of it. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Right at the top of this, I can make the whole thing dark because I don't want my eye to go out that. And then right in here, I just have water in my brush. Making some, I'm just leaving a little bit of white right there. And I can see that there are some shadows that go across. And when these branch shadows at the tops here have a shadow going across the round trunk, it makes a little smile. So I have a couple little smiles there. And now I'm going to keep going down. So I'll get my brush reloaded. I'm being pretty careful not to go over the paint that I've painted, I'm trying to just stay on the white paper. I'm a little bit unsteady, so it is going over a little bit. And then again down here, I want to darken the whole trunk down here. And now I'm going to add water for this part. But I have to be a little bit careful right now because there's a tree trunk behind this one, which I'm going to do next. So there's making the first shadow of this tree right here.
Mary Kay, I missed the colors for your tree. What colors are you using?
The shadow for the tree is 3 colors: burnt sienna, French ultramarine blue, and permanent rose.
Got it. Thank you.
Now here's a little bit tricky part because this tree here goes behind this one. So I'm going to take my same shadow colors. I'm going to start here. But when I get to this one, I'm going to go up here. Then I have to pretend that I'm painting right here. And I'm going to leave that one white. So I made it darker right here, but I left it white there so that I'm going to put this close so you can see what I did. So right here is the tree in front where I'm pointing, and right next to it is the tree behind it. So I have to carefully make that part the shadow part. Back up so you can see it, making you dizzy. Sorry about that. Now I just have to be brave and do that to all the trunks. So I'm just going to keep painting if you want to get going on that too. So once it's all the shadows are on, then we start to add in the knots and the little lines and so forth. Just mixed up some more color again. I'm working on my big one now, and I'm going to try to make it the most dramatic. So I'm going to make it the darkest. Hopefully, we'll see. That's my goal, though. That needs more French in it. Just painted myself. Okay.
Mary Kay, when you're mixing a puddle, how do you keep from getting bubbles in it?
How do I keep from getting bubbles in it? What kind of bubbles are you getting in it?
Just tiny little bubbles in the puddle of paint, you know, like you're mixing it around and adding colors and adding water. And then sometimes you get like tiny little bubbles in your puddle.
I generally don't worry about those.
Okay.
I just paint with them, and then if they're showing up on the painting, then I'll brush them out.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sometimes, Doris, I think it's from maybe your brush had some soap in it from the old PBO, or there might be dust. You could even get it from your sleeves. There's a lot of little reasons.
All right. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Have
Thank
fun with
you.
this.
My painting's pretty dry now. The PBO is still on it. Now I'm gonna do the fun part. I'm gonna add the dark branches wherever I feel like it. And I'm going to look carefully at these tree trunks and see these, I call them eyes, because they're little circles with little lines that come down. This is where the branches have broken off. So we want to place these on. This again is, the way that we make this color is burnt sienna and French ultramarine blue. Try to get almost a black. You can make it as brown or as blue as you want it. If you want it a little more purple, then put a little bit of permanent rose into it. So there's my color. And I have to look at my painting and decide, and look at the photograph and kind of see the different things, and then start to add them onto my painting, since it's not exactly the same. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just paint a couple of these eyes in a couple different spots. So I'm pointing at the photograph. There's a circle. And I'm gonna probably put a big branch coming off right here, and that's gonna be sort of a focal point, especially because it's gonna crisscross those two white ones. So I'm gonna put it a little bit about right here. So it's a circle. Almost need two brushes because I want to just use a little bit of paint now. And then there's kind of a white lip, and then it kind of comes down. It kind of comes across. So this shows me that a branch was there, and I'm kind of messing it up. I don't want it so perfect. There's the first little thing I'm going to add. And then there's one here that is on the side. Well, now that I was going to put that on the side, one thing I can see in my painting, and I don't know if it happened to you guys, but I had a little bit of my paint seep through the tape. So I'm just going to get a clean brush and kind of smudge that up there, and it's going to make it hopefully look like reflected light. Another thing that goes on are just these, this is kind of like a big eye here, and there's an eye here, and there's one here. So I'm just going to add these eyes in randomly. I can't make them all like, this is 4 inches, and now I go up here and put 4 inches. I have to go up here and make it an inch away. And look at the shape of it, and they're all kind of different. And then there's some that are just lines that go across. And above eye level, straight lines across these round tree trunks will be in the shape of frowns, ever so softly. This barely, the angle is like a frown. They have to be all different distances apart and all slightly different shapes. And again, this is just like putting trees in a row. It's so hard. Our brain is going to just put these all exactly the same distance apart, but we can't. We have to override our brain and put them different distances apart in different shapes. And we have to look at each tree and make sure that they're not all lined up. And once we have enough of those in, then we can start to think where we want to put our branches. One thing that I really like about this photograph is that there's these dark branches that go right off of this back of this tree and right out the side of the painting. It's totally breaking the rules, and I just think I just want to break the rules. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I have them in this one here. So these coming across, I'm going to put those in now. I have to be careful I don't go over the PBO, because you know what? It might be time to lift up our PBO so we know where those tree trunks are. Yeah, I think it is. This has to be dry though. So I'm going to mute it and dry it and then lift up the PBO. So I just dried that. Now I'm going to take my pickup and lift up the PBO so I can see where my leaves are. Okay. There's my big leaves. I just need to paint them yellowish and orange. And put in some of these trunks. I think that this is one of the important ones. I have to put it in a good spot, so it's gonna, my eye is gonna go right here, so that's where I'm gonna put it. It's gonna be the focal, end up with the focal point. So I don't want it smack in the center of the painting. I want it up here. And when it crisscrosses these, it's really gonna show up. So it's a broken branch. Comes off here and across these. And it makes kind of that little eye shape down here, and then that shape. And my eye goes right there. So that's my focal point. And now I just get to play. I'm going to put these, put a couple of these across. It starts from behind this tree. And where else do I want things? Here's one. I'm going to put one that's coming out here, going up here. To make it pretty dark though, so it hides the red. And then it has like a little eyeball too. Mixing up more paint, same colors. Now I just need to put in a few more little things, little branches coming off. Not sure where to go exactly. Just kind of the last step that I'm going to do right now is clean out my brush really, really well and go into my yellow paint and put yellow in these little leaves here. And I can leave them pure yellow, or I can make some of them sort of orangish and some of them brown. But I'm just gonna carefully, fairly carefully, paint all those little white spots so that I know that those are the leaves in front.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Those seem a little too yellow, so I'm going to add some burnt sienna to them. Maybe a little orange. I'm sort of putting it on the left side of almost every pet, every little leaf, so that it looks kind of like it's shadow. And then I wonder if I'm done. I might need a few little twigs to sort of connect some of those leaves. I can use just my same shadow color. I don't need to capture and attach every single one of these spots, but I think a few twigs to show is good. I like that in the front. I think I need just some smudges kind of going across. So if you want to look up, I have my round brush with kind of a diluted paint on it. I'm going to use the belly of the brush, and I'm just going to make some smudges across in the shape of smiles. Oh, that's better. That's much better. Too perfect these trees were. Smudge them up. That's better. Makes them look like bark too. This is dry on dry, so it sort of skips across. I can decide if I want to put more branches. No, I feel like I went to Bishop. gonna stop. I just start adding things. It's hard to take them off.
Pin myself so I can see where I am.
Oh, well, the little back. Yep, look at
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah, you have a, oh, I like that you put the one that went over the left, the right side, the
I
one that
didn't
went
like
in.
it. It looked kind of weird. That's why I added those branches. It looks a little more natural with the branches on it.
Yeah, it's, you know, it breaks the rules. I like it though. Make sure I go into the painting. And you have a very soft gray on your branches, on your trunks. So I feel like that really, it's kind of not that, I don't know what the word is, kind of like a cold day. It has a cold color shadow to it, so it makes it cold. Yeah, I like your little branches coming off are really good, and I like where your leaves are. Your colors are beautiful.
Yeah, I think the trunks feel like they were gum trees or some kind of, I don't know, smooth bark at first. Too smooth, but I don't know why.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know, but well, you fixed it.
I think so. I mean,
They look like aspen trunks now.
yeah,
For sure.
pretty much. It just took a lot of roughing up, I think.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see yours.
If I can pin myself. Let me see.
Oh, look how beautiful that is.
I can't tell what the light is. Is it?
It's good. Right? It's pretty good right now. You could just move it toward yourself an inch or two. I think the light will, no. It's just the light's a little bright on it.
Okay. Wonder if I could just turn this
Yeah, no,
off.
that'll be good. If you put it up right now, it's good. Okay. Yeah, and pull it toward yourself a little bit. There, perfect. Oh, it's beautiful. So this is Tahoe?
Well, it was an attempt. It was inside a couple, part of the walk. There are a lot of aspens up there, and the drawing that I was working from was when I took up there, a photo I took up there.
What's really beautiful about your painting is those branches at the top. So the one dark one that's coming out toward us, and the white ones that are coming, so that you really feel like those branches are going all the way around, and that is really well done. It's
great.
beautiful. I like how you did the 3, you did 2 and the 1, and you did it beautifully. You need to mat that one. Mat that one and put it up in your house.
It's fun. It's only 5 by 7,
Oh, well, that's easy to mat.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Thank you.
I can show mine. I'm not done with it, but I'm as done as I'm going to get
Okay,
today.
Shar. Oh boy, you got some fresh paint out.
Now, one of the things that I'm
Can you pull it up a little bit?
I'm trying to find my picture so I know what I'm doing. Oh,
Okay.
one of the things that I'm determined to do is use color, because when I painted before, everything always wound up in pastels.
You did not paint in pastel today.
No, today, in this new season of my painting, I'm never going to paint pastels.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I have a very good control over what I do. It just means that I'm going to have the courage to not have white paper.
You did a very, very good job of using a lot of paint. Very good job. It is bright. And your tree trunks stand out because of that. It really makes them come up. You did a beautiful job on shadowing each of those tree trunks.
Yeah. I would have liked to have done the skies different, but I really didn't know what I was doing. So I just sort of.
I think you can soften that. I think if you just put a little water on those blues and just let it sit, it'll just soften. And
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I probably would, because it doesn't really fit the rest of the painting.
No. Well, I knew I was in trouble with them, but I knew if I kept working it, I probably would make it worse. So I just sort of said, okay, I just
Yeah.
have to leave those.
You could even just kind of tilt your painting, or not even tilt it, but just kind of put water over the top third of your sky where the blue is, over all the orange and the yellow and the blue and everything, and just let it see what it does. If it
Okay.
starts to go crazy, just mop it up.
Okay.
I think it's worth
Then
trying a little
I'm gonna
water.
slide. I did finish this picture from
Oh,
last.
it's good.
So I didn't want to go without showing it. So
Very nice. Yeah, you really fixed that tree. Yeah, it's a big hardwood for sure.
Oh, color in that one.
Yeah. Okay.
like I said, that's one of the things I'm changing about how I paint is I'm just going to go boldly wherever I'm going, even if it's a mess, rather than be too passive about it. So,
Okay. We support you. Okay, Vicki. Let's see yours. Oh, it's got beautiful yellows. Oh, look at your
Wait.
fronts are so
I got
big.
it.
Can you pull that toward yourself just a little bit, Vicki, so we can
Uh-huh.
see the bottom of your painting? Oh, it's lovely. Oh, I love it. I think it's one of your best. You really I feel like we're at ground level looking up those huge trees. I love your softness in behind and your PBO with all your yellow leaves. And I like how you made your branches swoop and go around. And the bark is the shadowing on the bark is lovely. Very nice. Yay. My phone.
There's Penny.
They go upside down. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, so who's?
I'm going to leave now because I have grandchildren here.
Oh, okay, Shar. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All
Hi,
right.
Sharon. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Oops.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm not quite finished, but I'll show you where I got.
Okay. Oh, it's beautiful.
Nice.
Really beautiful.
Wow.
The background colors are so warm and lively. I love your PBO with your yellow in the front and your big branches and all your eyes. Just, it's beautiful. I don't know how much more you want to do. You'll
Yeah.
have to just decide.
Okay.
Yeah, really nice.
I'll go next, Mary Kay.
Okay, Arlene.
I'm not really through.
Okay,
I want to.
hold it closer to yourself. More. I still can't see the bottom, so maybe you can lift it up a little.
Just a little. There you go.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, same thing. It's beautiful. I like your background isn't as loose. It's got some drier spots, so our eye goes back there more. Your tree trunks are beautifully shadowed. And I like the leaves in front of the trees. Yeah, I think you just need to put more knots and stuff on your bark.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you.
Okay, so we saw Laura, we saw Penny. Did we see everybody?
I think so.
I think we did.
I think so too. Shall we sign off and you can, we'll say goodbye and then I'll show the video later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah,
Bye,
yeah,
Mary
you're
Kay.
still recording.